Okay, well, how many people out there think I need a new hat? You know what? Sometimes I think I'm getting a bit, not quite addicted to the tubes, but I'm just a bit of a slave to the tubes. Always like thinking about the next video, what am I going to say? Am I going to say enough? Am I saying the right things? Am I saying it to the right people? Is the audience I've currently got the one I want? Do I want to expand it? Do I want to talk about more things to include more people? It can be a bit of a drain on me sometimes, but I'm still here and I'm still doing it. And I think that's pretty important. And sometimes I have to go over the same things over and over again, or I have to reiterate the same message over and over again, because people think to themselves that they understand something in a certain way. Okay, everyone approaches a subject with an emotion. Everyone approaches a subject with a particular perspective, and there's an emotional attachment to it, or there is an emotion attached to it. Okay, and that kind of emotion gives something to the semantic interpretation as to what's happening. I mean, of course, you see that in like the New World Order conspiracy theorist truth movement. Fear or intense paranoia is part of the meaning behind what's going on. So that maybe if I was to go down that route, I should have a nice, natty little aluminium foil Faraday cage um, planted upon on the top. I understand that that's supposed to do something to repel the powers of the evil Illuminati's mind control rays, according to some particular pundits here on YouTube. But let's think about that. People approach something from the point of view that they might be right. But why don't people start approaching things from the point of view that they might be wrong? Okay. Now, I've approached a lot of matters in my life from the point of view of I could be wrong here. And that's what's encouraged me to grow, because I would deliberately look out for another point of view. Sometimes people would give me or say the occasional thing subtly, which at that time maybe I didn't quite take on board, but it sort of like percolates through into the consciousness with the passage of time, and I can either agree with it, disagree with it, or use it for my personal growth or whatever. But there's other ways of searching out for information, and some of it is through introspection, some of it is through contemplation. And during our busy lives, we sometimes find it difficult to find time for that, but I'd seriously recommend to everyone out there, do try and find time for that. Find something that you think about or you believe in, and just for a thought experiment, think to yourself, I'm going to believe for a minute that I'm wrong. Now choose something that's really, really big, okay? Something you've invested your mind, your heart, your soul, your being, your very je ne sais quoi, the essence of your soul into. This is just for an experiment, okay? And tell yourself that for the next, I don't know, 3 hours, you are going to explore that idea from every single skeptical point of view, or cynical point of view, or objectionable point of view. Not to try and prove yourself right, but to try and prove yourself wrong, and to carry on looking deeper and deeper and deeper into the same subject to prove yourself wrong. Now, that can become useful because you can get into the habit of it. And from getting into the habit of it, you can slowly start to see things from another point of view, and realize that this whole debate about what is real and what is true is a lot larger than even the views, values, broadcasts and blogs and all the rest of it, and videos that are out there. Okay, because all these things are just like snippets of an argument. They're just aspects of an argument, but they're not the complete picture. They can't be the complete picture. And they're not, because they're just a tiny little aspect here and there, okay? That's all, these tiny little bits of a picture. Now, if I was to riding an aircraft and I was to only ever look out of the left-hand window, the left-hand port window, I would have a very different view of the whole reality than if I took photographs out of the left window and out of the right window and out of the front window, and if there was windows at the back, out of the back window, and I had a camera strapped to the underneath of the aeroplane. I took photographs going straight down and photographs pointing straight up, and I could turn that into an amazing 360-degree photograph. But no matter what, you know, a lot of people just look at things out of that one window. But I would like to encourage you just to try finding something that you believe in to the most part, and take yourself down a investigation. Now, for some people, they can do it in a few minutes or a few days, but maybe you need a little longer. Just give it a go and see whether you can convince yourself otherwise. It's not a question of, oh, this week I'm going to become a Christian, or this month I'm going to become a Satanist. What you do instead is you think that, you know, I've always thought that this one particular person loved me, for instance. And then you try and look at that from another point of view, and to see whether your belief about that individual was really true. For instance. Just a for instance, okay? Maybe you want to do that with someone who's not actually in your life right now. Or alternatively, you could do it with your theological beliefs about God or the universe or creation. But once you've maybe, let's say hypothetically, disproven one particular point of view that you've got, think about the next views that you develop, or the next beliefs that you develop, or the next emotions associated with an idea which you then develop as a result of coming to a new conclusion. Because that new conclusion would just be looking at the same issue but from a different point of view. You'd just be looking out of a different window at the aeroplane, but you won't be looking throughout the whole 360 degrees plus up and down, or 360 times 360 degree model of the entire sky simultaneously. You'd just be looking out of a different window on the airplane. So you can't have the full picture. But once you've reached a new conclusion, you still don't have the full picture. Just like these people who, I mean, just like myself, when I did my degree, I mean, I went into university quite cocky. You know, the way that young people do. Swaggering, drinking, playing it cool. You know, I was in that state of mind. You know, I was the best. I knew stuff. And I did, you know, I really did know stuff. But with the passage of time, 3 whole years of learning, courses in criminology, statistics, psychology, deviance, mental health, what else did I learn? Oh, it was just all there, you know. The sociology of race, the sociology of death. And of course, you know, I did my 1 year of natural science and neuroscience, more about the brain and the body and how it all works. And, you know, I'd done years of studying. Then at the end of it, I suddenly turned around to myself and I said, I feel like I know less now than I did earlier. Because I have become aware, I suppose, that the view from the aeroplane was an awful lot bigger than whichever vantage point I had moved to during this course of many years' worth of learning. Even bigger than that. And I could probably never, ever, ever fully understand what was really outside of the aeroplane. So, it is important to have a certain quantity of self-doubt. Anyway, I'll just leave you with that right now. I'm not perfect at this exercise, by any means, but I'd certainly do it rather a lot.